before the pandemic, of course, it was great. It was scary, but I was like, okay, it's coming together because, you hold a vision in your mind for so long and now I can visually see it. Everyone can see what I had been holding in my mind. And then the pandemic came and we had to shut everything down. I thought people were going to judge me. I thought I was going to look stupid. Scary. Oh God, it was so scary. I had no idea what to expect.
Hey, how you guys doing? I want to welcome you to the Content Aesthetic Show, where we take different aesthetic professionals, different med spa owners, and allow them to share their stories so they can encourage you to keep going, keep impacting, and keep making a difference in the world and your community. And today's guest, we got Michelle. How are you, Michelle?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I am blessed. I cannot complain. I woke up today. I'm here to serve another day.
Good. Now you just made my answer look like a chump.
What? So Michelle, tell us what it is that you do to make a difference in the world.
I make a difference in the world because I'm my authentic self. And I teach other people to be their authentic selves. So when we all lean into who we truly are, our diversity and differences can actually make the world move forward.
Now that was good. That was good. So tell me, how long have you had the Contour Club? Like, tell me about it. Like, what made you bring it up and make it, like, tell me.
Oh, the whole story?
Yeah, I want it all.
From the beginning?
Yep.
Okay. So I worked for a doctor for 3 years before I started my own business. I had tried my own business before. I'm originally from New Orleans, and I had my own business right after aesthetic school, which I don't recommend. So I went ahead and I made that leap, and that did not work out. So I found myself working for a doctor. One of her clients, I ended up, I guess, establishing a relationship with, and she asked me if I wanted to open my own business, and I never thought about that before. She planted the seed, and then the very next client tipped me $1,000 and said she believed in me. And between those two ladies, I said to myself, I think I could do this. So I took that money, and that's all I had, and I got one room, and I started.
Wow. So that $1,000 investment is what I'm going to say allowed you to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, you had like a credit card with like $800
yes,
plus that.
Yes.
And so it's like, I'm about to get this business going.
Correct. Right? $800 limits.
Like,
okay.
And that's scary. So
yes,
if you use
that means
$1,
nothing. Right.
Your credit score go up.
Correct. Yeah.
But what gave you the courage to actually take that risk?
Okay. So I was actually going through some things personally at that time. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would read The Battlefield of the Mind. It's a book by Joyce Myers. And then I found a workbook, and I would read a chapter, and I would just do the workbook. And then I would take a very long walk, like 3 to 5 mile walks, and I would just listen. I also had another book I would listen to called You're a Badass. Yes. So I was constantly putting things into me. I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew to expect something. And like magic, I met those two women in order. The first woman was like, have you ever thought about owning a business? Because you have the personality to do it. Then the other woman actually gave me the seed money, like put it in my hand, So I had met a couple of other magical people along with that, but I call that alignment because I did the work when I could not see anything. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just did the work,
I love that. So you could have went and paid a bill. You could have bought some new shoes. You could have did so much. What said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go get my suite?
That's a good question. Because you know what? I would say it's alignment, because I really did not know what to expect, but greatness. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know what it was. And everything really happened in a magical way or a spiritually aligned way. Yeah.
I love that. And the reason why I ask you that, because I see so many aesthetic practice, they might get blessed with some seed money, but they go feed something else. They go on vacation, they go on trips, they go on everything, but actually doing something to grow the business or grow their legacy. And I don't know if it's a mindset thing. I don't know if it's a lack of, but what gave you that courage to say, I'm going to believe in myself, even though I'm comfortable at this job, working for a doctor. I'm in the industry, but it's not my business.
My father.
Yeah.
My dad owned his own business, and he always had the expectation of us to create our own income, do your own thing. So I didn't know what way that was going to come and what form that was going to come. I had tried it before and I failed. So I had that, like, oh, am I going to make a fool out of myself? But at the same time, the messages that I was constantly feeding myself was, you can do it.
Yes.
You can do it. You can do it. You are a badass. You can do it. So I didn't have that. I quieted the voice that was scared. So all I could hear was what I trained myself to hear, which was, you're capable, you can do this. And I allowed myself to open up and just let it come in, if that makes sense.
100%, because if you're not open, you're going to be closed to everything.
Right.
And so I always say this, like, I give awards to our clients. It's called the Dontel Act of Belief Award. And it's for having the courage to believe in yourself.
Right.
Because I think that is the hardest thing for someone to do. You can believe in everybody else, but when it comes to believing in yourself, you normally don't even put yourself last. You don't even put yourself in the category.
Right.
And so I like to honor people that actually do that. And so tell me what that experience was once the business started opening.
Scary. Oh God, it was so scary. I had no idea what to expect. But faith is my superpower. I've always been a walk on water kind of person. I don't know the answers. I just get out there and figure it out as I go. So when I first started, I didn't even have social media until I opened a business. I never had personal social media. I still don't. So I had no idea. I used to read a lot of books. I met an influencer, but she wasn't an influencer to me. She was just a really cool, pretty woman that I happened to meet. But unbeknownst to me, she had a lot of people who wanted to look like her and follow her and do the things that she did. So as a favor to me, just because we were cool, she posted and then it started.
So that right there, when you got your first experience of the power of content.
Correct. Changed everything.
So once that post happened, once that phone started ringing, now you getting tested with system fulfillment, all of that stuff.
Right.
Like, how was that for you?
Scary, right? Because you're talking to a person who likes to read books and is really an introvert. So it was an adjustment, putting things out there and, meeting people that I didn't know, and having to teach them how to believe in me in 30 minutes.
Yes.
And that was a skill that I had to develop over time.
Yeah, because I see when it comes to the aesthetic world, sales is not it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like everybody is scared of sales.
Well, see, that's the other thing. I have a sales background and I have an art background. So when it came together, it was like, this is magic for me. So I had the pieces, but I had not figured out how to put it together. It wasn't until I had my spiritual awakening that the pieces started to come together for me.
I love that because I'm a creative. I got a creative background and a real creative. Like, I've been a graphic designer since 13 years old.
Oh, I believe it.
And so I went from graphic design. Middle school, I was doing all the graphics for the middle school. High school, I did all my graphics for the school. I did all their graphics. I was a part of a thing called Skills USA. So I traveled around America and I competed in graphics. Wow. Then I went to Art Institute.
So did I.
Yeah. AI. Yeah, so I went to Art Institute as a graphic designer. Then I switched my major to photography. And then from there, I fell in love with film. And so 14 years ago, I left my 9-to-5 and I've been creating content for the last 14 years. And I enjoy it. Yeah. But the biggest thing, I did not know what sales were. Somebody probably in 2017 said, "Oh man, you're a salesman." I got offended. Because they called me a salesman. I thought it was an insult because I didn't know what sales were. I just knew I'm a creative and I just love to serve. So I didn't even put two together, even though I was doing sales. Yeah. I just didn't, I thought that connotation was bad. And then somebody said, "Oh, you found your niche." What? Why are you insulting me like that? Right? And then when I realized that everything in America is ran off of sales, I started to study sales. I started to learn sales. I started to learn psychology and learn people and learn so much about it. And I fell in love with it because I was like, how can I get my message out if I don't got nobody to hear it?
But sales is still art, though.
Yes.
Because you're taking something that is formless and you're creating a form. Yeah. That in definition is artwork. That's the process of creation.
I wish I'd been knew that. I would have been a billionaire
but
by now.
You know what? You had to earn it. And you'll still be a billionaire. You still have time.
Oh, yeah. I already got my plan together.
Yeah, we're on the road.
Yeah, we there. We on the way, right?
So don't worry.
But I would have been there like 10 years ago now. But I love that. And so I know for you, what made you I want to have a unique experience experience with my clients? Like everybody else focus on the outer. What made you say I want to focus on the inner?
Because I'm my first client.
Yeah.
I really preach about knowing who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Louisiana. I love to fish.
Yes.
When you go fishing, you know what you are looking for.
Yeah.
Catfish swim low, trout swims high. So sometimes if you're looking for a different type of fish, you need to put a float on your bait so it stays on the top of the water. And sometimes you put a weight so it goes to the bottom. You must know who you're wanting to attract. Yeah. So I'm my first client. I design my business for people like myself, not Michelle, but in the sense of you're looking for more. I'm in a change business. I'm not in a beauty business. So my clients look forward to long-lasting, permanent, safe changes that are effective. And change starts from the top down. Yeah. So I don't focus on your stomach. I focus on your mind. We focus on your confidence. We focus on your vibration. We focus on you going to sleep at night. We focus on you feeling good on the inside and being nice to people. Kind to people. That comes from the inside. And then we make your outside match your inside. But it all starts from the inside, which is why I have, sometimes it's challenging with my messaging because I never want to put beauty before anything, honestly, because beauty before spirit, really, because your spirit is what is the most beautiful part of a person, if I'm being honest.
100%. I agree. So when it comes to, I know you ran ads before in the past. You probably didn't like it. Did you do it or did somebody?
Both. Hated it.
Right. When it came to like getting the message out, what are some things that you do to actually bring in clients?
So word of mouth. I'm an old school person. It's important. My reputation is more important than silver or gold. Actually, my mother's a minister and I grew up with that. I would hear that every day, actually, excuse me. So it was important for me to build a reputation with strategic clients. So I really pitch to the fish that I want to catch. And then that fish will tell other fish, or we can switch to bees. So I pretty much pitch to queen bees in a sense that I want to work with the head of the lady group, if that makes sense. And then the other bees will follow.
I love that. And so it's like, in a sense, if we broke it down in a business aspect, you like to go more for the CEOs. And then from the CEOs, you get all of the different hierarchy and then all of the employees, the whole business, because the top person co-signs you. And the reason why I broke it down like that is because I want other aesthetic professionals to think about who you want to serve. Right. Because if you don't know who you serve and you can't serve right, correct, then you're serving the wrong. Most of the time you're serving money and not serving people. Right. We all have an audience. We all have a connection that we throw out into the world. So just like the fish, just like you said, that it's a connection. It's if I want this is what I'm going for. Right. But you got to have the confidence to go for it.
Right. And that's the other side. So you have to fix yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you're a business owner, it starts from, when you're a person, it goes from the inside out. But especially when you're a business owner, you really want to focus on yourself. Because if you are a person who is money focused, you will reach clients who are money focused. And that's not right or wrong, but you must know that you attract who you truly are.
Yeah, and that's so true, because even for us, if we on the sales call and we hear the person need $1 tomorrow or they care about that, it's like we won't take them.
Right.
And it's like, I look for people that's serving leaders, and as long as they're serving leaders, I want to help them lead. Right. I want to help them take it to the next level. But if they're not serving leaders, I actually don't have a great connection with them. And it's crazy, because every client that I see that win, that's coachable, is because they are serving leaders. Right. And so even for us, like, we used to be general, and then we niched down to the aesthetic world. And it was so scary. Like, went from making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Right. To saying, hey, I want to go to an industry that is big on serving and helping others. But I didn't come from the aesthetics. I came from content. And so when we made that transition, oh my gosh, I went through an entrepreneur season for 8 months, building out systems to help this world. And everybody would have been like, man, you crazy, you dumb. Why would you stop all of that money? And my thing was, I threw a big event. And when I threw the event, I realized at the event, I got brainwashed by all my high-level mastermind teachers, coaches, and stuff, to think more about the money than the person. I never in my life did that. And so what happens is, if you got peers doing $1 million in a day, you're like, all right, I need my $1 million in a day. And so at my last big event, I cared more about the back end than the people, but I didn't show it. I felt it. And I said, oh, I got the wrong people in the room. The moment I said that, I cried to myself, because I found out that I had people sleeping in their cars for 3 days to hear me speak. I heard over 5-6 people's story. I had a high-end hotel, high-end this. They could not afford the $300-400 a night, 3-day event. And that moment when I said that, I knew that I lost who I was. And for the first time in my life, I did that. And so I stopped right there at that moment. I took a 45-day mental sabbatical away from everything. I got out of all of my high-level masterminds. And then if I want to make a difference, I got to serve one niche. But I had to go through that. And oh my gosh, that was so hard.
But you know what? You have to go through that. Niches get riches. I heard someone say that, and it sticks. And I really believe in that. You niche down to what you are good at. You find what you're good at, and then you expand it. I don't typically do the one-stop shop and all over the place. No. You get really good and you make yourself a master of whatever that is. You know what I mean? And that is where your money comes from. I watched a video recently, and the guy said to the woman, sell me this pen. And so her response was, well, what do you need to sign? Like, she is trying to figure out what his needs are. So many people sell the needs of the pen or the features of the pen. They focus on the pen instead of focusing on the person who needs the pen. So the question is, what do you need to sign? Where are you going? What, I don't know, I can't think of what she said right now, but you want to fill in the blank. You want to serve your client. So you think about what they need. You know what I mean? I always think about what my client wants or what I want. I want clean. I want quiet. I provide clean, ultra clean, and private, all the time.
I love
it's important.
That. So I know for your devices, you said you had unique devices. Like, devices is not cheap, first of all.
No.
But what made you say, I want to have different devices versus everybody else?
My clients. My clients are incredible, and I listen to them and I pay attention to their results. So, and I also want something unique and something that's going to serve them quickly and efficiently, and that's pretty much it. My clients are my creative directors, as far as I'm concerned. I'm always watching them. They don't say to me, Michelle, I think you should do this. No, it's based on their behavior. So they lean into things that they like. They ask more questions about things that they like, or they'll see something on the internet and they'll bring it to me, and I'm researching at 3 a.m. when they're sleeping, trying to figure out if this is a good investment.
I do the same thing, right? Anytime I see a problem, I fix it. Like we're a content firm. And so we have 2 different levels. We have done for you and done with you. Originally in our done with you, you shoot the content on your phone and you send it in to us to edit.
Okay.
But I was seeing that clients was taking 6 hours, not getting it done or not that. And so what I said is, I need to figure out how to fix that problem. And so now we have the software to virtually take over your mobile device, and we shoot the content with you anywhere in the world.
Wow.
And
that's
so
impressive.
Also, all of our clients that's in Done With You love us because we sit there with them and we do the content and we shoot about 12 pieces in an hour.
Wow.
Anywhere in the world.
Wow. You're a problem solver.
Always been my whole life. I can't, my mind do not allow me to see a problem and not fix it. Or if I see somebody around me hurting, not figure a way to help them. My mind is built like that. And so I think that was probably, I had to spend a lot of money for that software, right? But it's game changing because we're the only people in the market with it. Every time I mention, people like, you could do what? No, this not no Zoom, this high quality. It's crazy. And you got somebody coaching you, helping you while you're on the call. And they say, this is the most content I ever created in a short amount of time.
That is amazing. But to me, like you were saying, equipment is expensive.
Yeah.
Well, so are Chanel bags.
Yeah.
I don't wear those. But I do have innovative equipment that no one else has.
Yeah.
Right? And there's nothing wrong with a Chanel bag, you know. But
priorities.
It's more important to me at this point in my life to serve my clients.
I fell short at one point not too long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was buying lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was buying lifestyle because I looked at it as marketing. One of my mentors said that all of that stuff is marketing. And then Muhammad Ali said, you can have a man with a message, but if they church does not have gold in it, if it's not this, that nobody will come and listen to that message.
Mm-hmm.
And so they will pick the person with the gold pearls versus the person with a better message and raggedy pearls. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, man, in order for me to serve my people, I have to look away so they can take me serious. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that it's like David and Goliath. When King Solomon wanted David to wear his armor, mm-hmm. he said no because he felt uncomfortable. So when I was doing that and spending my money on crazy designer and all of that stuff, I wasn't me. Mm-hmm. I wasn't feeling me. Mm-hmm. And my pastor said something. He said, it's okay to start small. And he said, because I'm in my early 30s, and he said, most people have this problem in their early 30s. And at least you got out of it early. Mm-hmm. And us as a culture, we spend all our money on BS, but never own nothing. We don't scale. It's like, how can we have something to pass down if we spending it on what we got on?
Very true. But that is, you're taught, Yeah. So if you know better, you do better. Yeah. And it also depends on priority, and it depends on the fish you want to catch, because it is true. It is marketing. So, and it does matter to certain people. Yeah. Personally, it doesn't matter to my clients. Yeah. Yeah. Because the women that I pitch to and the gentlemen I pitch to, they don't care. Yes. They really don't care. Yeah. They own horses, which is what I want to own. Yes. So, they don't have time for the stuff. Yeah. But I'm very intentional about my audience. Yeah. You know what I mean? So two things can be right at the same time. Mm-hmm. And two people can be successful doing the same thing with different methods, because there are many different ways to get to 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 8 is 4. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah. So it depends on what you want to do. But being intentional and being authentic, in your particular situation, the reason why it didn't fit for you is because it wasn't authentic. It wasn't true to who you are.
Yeah, because I'm a plain black t-shirt type of person.
And there are expensive, very expensive black t-shirts out there. But the thing is, if you're talking to the wrong person, even if you paid $1,000 for that plain black t-shirt, they would not recognize it because it holds no value to them. Yes. Versus the person you're pitching to, they know that it's a Fendi shirt because, if the tag is on the inside, they recognize the type of cotton. I don't know. You know what I mean? But
they got a Fendi radar.
But that's the person you're pitching to, so they recognize it. Yeah. So 2 things can be right at the same time. You know what I mean?
I love that perspective. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was like, man, when I looked at my balance sheet and what I spent on that, I said, oh my gosh, why did I do that?
Right. And you can't get it back. Like, it's gone.
And I got all this stuff and I don't even wear it.
Right.
I don't wear it. I could have bought an apartment complex with how much I spent on that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good.
Very slow. Now it's like, all right, now I'm going to buy more properties and stuff like that.
Yeah, but when you know better, you do better. And the same with my clients, educating my clients. They've done a lot of treatments that, I listen to and I'm like, what? You did what? Don't do that, but they didn't know. Mm. So education is very important to me. I don't touch anyone until we have a conversation and I explain the science behind every device and behind what I do and let them know so they have an understanding and an expectation of what they should or how they should see their body change over time.
I love that. And I know the pandemic, you was building in the pandemic.
Yeah.
How was that for you mentally?
Okay, so before the pandemic, of course, it was great. It was scary, but I was like, okay, it's coming together because, you hold a vision in your mind for so long and now I can visually see it. Everyone can see what I had been holding in my mind. And then the pandemic came and we had to shut everything down. Now here in Georgia, they let us open again, thank God. But during that time, though, I was reading Black Fortune and it was talking about Black people who became millionaires during Reconstruction, which was right after slavery, right? Yeah. And just before Black Wall Street, that era. And during that time, Madam C.J. Walker made herself a millionaire, right? And when we had to go during the shutdown, I shut my business down. I said to myself, everything that goes down comes back up. 100%. So during that time, I actually purchased a new device. I purchased the first device in the country at that time because everything had shut down. No one was buying anything. And I called them out of the blue and I was like, hey, I want to buy this. And even the lady was like, you want to buy this? It's like, yeah, because life is like a slingshot. Got to go down and then it pops back up. So when we were able to open in 1 month, I gave myself a month. I rented the room next to me, which was a storage room. So I negotiated with the landlord to clean out the storage room, to drop the rental rate because it was during the pandemic. No one was renting. So I took that opportunity to negotiate a lower rate to actually clean it out because I knew he wasn't going to do it. I turned it into my Sculpt Pod room. I invested in the Sculpt Pod. And then when we were able to reopen, I was able to relaunch a new treatment and it took off. And was able to pay that off very quickly.
Oh, that's good. I love it.
Yes.
Problem solver.
Yes. Yes. In the book, yeah. And just listening to other people, because I don't think people really understand the weight of slavery and what that really meant. And these people were able to rebuild their entire lives from nothing. So I had something. They had nothing. But I had something. So I was able to leverage what little bit I had to create something to have more.
I love that. All right. So how was content impactful for you and your business?
So I just started showing my face on my content last year, August 12th. I used influencers and other people to speak for me because I was afraid to show myself. I would do voiceovers and I would let other people speak for me. But that worked at that time. But then it came time where that no longer worked and I had to pivot and I had to face my own fears and jump in front of the camera. And turns out that worked.
I love it. What was one of your biggest fears about getting in front of the camera?
I thought people were going to judge me. I thought I was going to look stupid. I thought I was going to sound crazy because I don't like my voice.
Yeah. And where did that stimulate from? Like, is it something that happened when you was younger where people picked on you for your voice or judged you or talked about you? Like, where did that stimulate? It didn't just come out of the sky.
I think it came from me being judgmental and critical of other people, if I'm honest. Because I know when I'm looking, I'm like, no, I don't like that. And I'm looking at a stranger, judging them for putting themselves out. And so I was afraid that someone was going to do the same thing to me.
So it's like I sowed this, I'm going to reap it, and I don't want to feel it.
Right.
But how was that on you when you actually realized that you was doing that and that wasn't?
Right. I had to face myself. That goes right back to self-awareness. Yeah. And as a business owner, realizing that it's you that's putting it out there and you do, all seeds grow.
At the end of the day, when it comes to content, a lot of aesthetic professionals do not put out content because of the fear of judgment, or when they was younger, somebody picked on them and talked about them, and they allowed them kids' words to still hunt them as adults. And that's why they're not showing up in front of the camera. But what I look at is like, I say, if you don't put out the content, nobody get to hear your message. And you can't save the people you are meant to save because you muted yourself and they was looking for you to be their superhero. But you didn't show up because you didn't show up for you.
My clients would tell me all the time, Michelle, if you would just talk to people, if they knew what was on the other side, because once they get there, you're in the studio, you're on my territory now, and you get all of me. And they were like, but no one knows you. Like, you won't put yourself out there. You are the person that they meet. Why won't you, And I said, okay. So I did one video and I had a lady who I'd never met who had come in because she saw my video.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a minute. You saw my video?
I'm on to something.
Right. And then she bought something from me and I said, okay, that's how this works.
Yes. So let me go back to the part when you ran ads in the past and it didn't work. Were you putting out content then?
No.
So you was missing an element. I always tell people, stop running to ads first when you didn't build the authority with the content first.
Right.
Content should always be first.
Right. I was out of order.
Yes. And that's what most people, whenever I hear somebody say, oh, the ads didn't work or this, but what was they looking for in the ads means something. Ads is nothing but a booster to get more visibility on the content.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it's up to you to convert.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you put the content and you put the ads together, you supercharge the content, because organic content takes a long time.
Yes, it does.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But content itself, content marketing, content creation, that is for long-term building. That's a foundation you building. So I always tell people, when you're doing it, put the money to the side. It's not to be made back next month.
Mm-hmm.
You might not break even for the next 3-4 years, but it's a compounding interest.
Yes.
And so the more you put out, the more you become number one in your market, the more you can serve, the more you can be seen, the more you can convert.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
very true. And what's funny, or what I find funny, is the people who really do have the knowledge, as far as in our business, they don't have your knowledge.
Yeah.
But then we have a group of people who understand content but don't understand aesthetics or the business.
Yeah.
And they're making money on things that don't work because they understand content, but they have no idea what's going on scientifically. So we need what you have so that people like myself who are really focused on the business and understand the treatments to help us with the content so that we can bridge the gap and get in order and divine alignment.
And that's why we came in and we are obsessed with learning. When you say 4 a.m., I can tell you we understand. But that's why we only serve the aesthetic professionals, the medical aesthetic professionals. And we come in different. Like we come in, of course, understand how to scale, but we also come in with content, but we understand marketing. We understand systems and automations. And our clients, they get the full pie, not just a piece of the pie. So when you go to somebody, a marketing agency or any one of them agencies, they only give you a little small piece of the pie.
Correct.
But when you come to a content firm, we give you the whole pie because it takes the whole pie in order for you to win.
Correct. It's actually similar to where my business is set up. Clients pay one price and we do all of the treatments. All of the treatments.
Break that down, because when I seen that, I was like,
yes.
What?
Okay.
What?
Right.
Is this a membership? Monthly membership? Like
So both. So I have packages. It's basically your time commitment. So my clients pay for the amount of time that they see me. And then if you want to come in every day, I can see you every single day. That is based on your rate of commitment. I'm doing that on purpose psychologically because I want them to commit. That is important. I need you to commit, right? Because that speaks to the long lasting change. And the price is set also at a place to where you're going to want to commit, right? No backseats. Also, you are more than one thing. You are not just your stomach. It's not just your arms. It's total body wellness. So we do all of the things because the definition of doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results is right. So we want to do more than one thing. I also noticed when I first started and I just had one device, that my clients who worked out saw better results. My clients who didn't, they saw great results, but not as good as the ladies who moved. So I had to figure out, how do I, very similar to you, how do I monitor their exercise? So I invested in devices that are souped up workout devices that you can do a total body workout in 30 minutes in my facility where I can see you, you know? So now I am in control of the change that you paid me to see. You know what I mean? So every week we do a different treatment on a different body part, and we, right.
I love that.
Just like a personal trainer, we engage different muscles, different areas of your body so that we're tricking your body to move faster, right? So we can accelerate your results. So the reason I can do that is because I'm not money focused. I'm change focused. I'm focused on my clients, right? So if I was money focused, I probably would break it down. But no, we treat skin and we do inch loss all together. We don't choose one or the other. Everything is already packaged together.
I love that. And now you know what's about to be my next question. Price range for something like that.
Well, we have monthly memberships that start at $349, $350 a month, and the minimum commitment is 3 months because you do need to commit to anything for 3 months in order to see an effective change.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. That like, cause like that's like my Lifetime Fitness. Like I go to Lifetime and that's what I'm paying, but it's not like that. And then it's a club.
And it's private. See, I don't really care for gyms because I'm really closed off, and I'm also a germaphobe. Like, is this clean? In my place, we know it's clean and it's really private and you're in there by yourself. So you can get naked and you don't have to feel any type of way because you're in there by yourself. You know, everything is custom for my client.
I love that. That's different. That's super different. And it's unique. And I know it was like you had a big impact in your life at a time, right? Your protector, your hero. The person who encouraged you and guided you went on to a better place, right? And that impacted you deeply. How did you use that to continue to serve even when you had to go in and out? You want you all the way. Like, how did you get back to being you again, but a greater version of you?
So when my father died, I kind of let things go a little bit. I just started eating whatever I wanted to eat and just kind of checked out a little bit. And that's not who he was. My father was a professional athlete. He used to run every day, you know. He had an air conditioned business, so he's always working with his hands. And he probably would not be pleased with me sitting around feeling sorry for myself and missing him and not producing anything. So one day I was just fed up and it was freezing. It was wintertime. Put on a coat and I just started walking and talking to him in my head and crying. And as the wind blew, this sounds so artistic, but it really did happen. As the wind blew, I could feel my tears moving and it felt like he was saying, this is what I need you to do. Like, you need to get up, wipe your tears, move forward. I miss you too, you know, but we have to move forward in life. And that's exactly what I did. So I started walking every day and it was like I had a conversation with him in my head to mourn him, you know, even though I know he was gone, he's gone from here, but he's still present. Very present in my life. And my father was like Richard Roundtree. I know that's an older reference, but he was really like Shaft, the character.
Shaft, yeah.
Very much like that. He did not take anything off of anyone, very straightforward. So he talked to me that way. So it was pretty much like, get your stuff together. Like you did your thing. We cried. I understand. We didn't know this was going to happen like this, but you know, so after that, it kind of just brought me to a place where I had to face myself again. You know, owning a business has been the most emotional and spiritual thing that I've ever done in my life because it put me in a position to have to face myself over and over and over again. So after he left, it's like now I'm a new version of myself. So I redid and revamped my entire business. I redid and revamped myself. I lost a lot of weight and just moved forward. You know, because you can cry and work. You can cry and move. I've done it.
I love that. And I see a lot of women, like I have a daughter, she's 5, right?
Aww,
and her name is Journey, right? And I have a son, he just turned 3 on Saturday. His name is Legacy.
Okay.
And looking at my daughter, I can see she's a split image of me. Like, she has my attitude, she has everything. How was it for you to have your father in your life to help you become who you are today?
Oh man. Okay, I'm really fighting back tears. My dad was, I'm sorry. My dad was great. He was really great. He was unafraid. If I had to pick one word, he was just unafraid. And if you were with him and you were on his team, you had nothing to be afraid of because he wasn't afraid of anyone. He would cuss anyone out for you, or anyone who disrespected him, and not necessarily, angry and cussing out, but he was so sure of himself and so secure about who he was as a person that I felt like that kind of slid down the bloodline.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that you weren't allowed to be weak or girly or a woman, but excellence was required. He would always say people can't rise to low expectations. I grew up in a house like that. So we keep our expectations high so that people can hit them.
I love it. I think a big thing, like for us, is like be you, be authentic, you show up. Do not allow nobody to put you down. Like for my daughter, I have her in Kumon, I have her in gymnastics, I have her in Girl Scouts.
Yes.
She just went to kindergarten,
Yeah.
but I push her to be stronger.
Yes.
I challenge her to be stronger. Since she was born, I always tell you, a leader or a follower.
Yes.
And I make her understand what a leader is. And when she do stuff that's tendency to be a follower, I call it out. She might sometimes get mad at me, but I want her to know, like, when you're in the world as a woman, you have to be stronger, because there's so many people that want to take advantage of you and put you down or treat you less, that you can't stand up for that.
Right.
Like, you can't let that happen. You have to stand up. You have to speak up. You have to be able to swim with the sharks.
Right.
And you can. And so I know that. And so I instilled that in her since she's been born.
Good for you, Dad. Same with mine.
Because it's important. It's important. Like, it's important, especially as a Black woman.
Yes.
Right. And so,
and it stays with you forever.
Yeah.
My dad is gone, but anyone who knows him, who talks to me, they know immediately I am his daughter. And it will always, his name is Mac, and they'll always say, oh, that's Mac's daughter. Yeah. Correct. All right.
Yes.
Get it right. Yeah. Because he didn't have any shorts, nothing, but not necessarily in a way that you're not allowed to be weak.
Yeah.
And when you know that you are who you are, which is why it's important to know who you are. So you don't have to fight for it.
Yes.
I am who I am. Yes. That's it.
I love that. If you can say something to an aesthetic professional that might be on the verge of giving up and don't know which route to go, what would you say to them? Look into that camera and talk to them.
I would say get a mentor. Align yourself with someone that you admire. If you're on the internet and you're scrolling and you see someone that you're intimidated by, or they trigger something in you, instead of rolling your eyes and getting upset and scrolling past, I want you to lean into that and then look and see if you can intern with them or send them a DM or ask them questions. I want you to learn how to face yourself. I want you to learn how to be by yourself, and I also want you to learn to listen. We talk a lot, but I really need you to listen. So just before you give up and just before you call your girlfriend and you start complaining, I want you to write a list of the things that you are grateful for. I want you to take a walk and don't listen to anything but the birds. I want you to have expectations of God and yourself. And I want you to get really honest with yourself before you make any moves. That's what I want you to do.
I love that. And my last question, I always ask this question. You answered it earlier in the show, but I want you to go in depth. Mm-hmm. If you had one superpower, what would it be and why?
My immediate thought is reading people's minds, because that will allow me to figure out how to solve the problem. You know what I mean? So I could really get to the root of the issue. Because oftentimes fear comes off as anger or hurt. You know what I mean? So if I could read your mind, or read your heart, I should say, then we could figure out what the real root of it is and we could fix it. I don't like that word fix. We can adjust it so that it'll serve you.
I love it. You did amazing today. You gave a lot to the people and you showed up as your authentic self. And I just want to thank you for that. Because you didn't have to come today. You didn't have to share your story. You didn't have to be vulnerable. You didn't have to open up. And you don't have to change the lives in your community. You don't have to strive to be different. You didn't have to do none of that. You could have gave up, or you could have stayed working at that doctor's office. You didn't have to build your own. You could have gave up when you lost one of your superheroes, but you didn't. And I just want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show today. And I want you to realize is that it is okay to be you. It is okay to bring something different to the market. It is okay to rebuild when the world is tearing down. But you have to understand that it is up to you to have the courage to keep going. It is up to you to believe in yourself, even when nobody else sees your vision. And I hope today's episode help you with that. I'm Dontel Antonio, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show.